And if you don't want it, it's fine.
Yeah, fine.
I'll take it out. So no hassles there. All right. So let me share the audio. So we're going to listen to Orest tracks. This is an old one, is it, Orest?
Yes, it has some more iterations afterwards, but I didn't share those because they just sound very weird. This one's also weird.
Yeah. Good. I like weird. Okay. So
Weird is good.
is there any? Do you want like general feedback or any particular area of feedback?
Um, General, I think, would be
Okay.
good with this one.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. It's called hard bass. Cool. Good. Nice stuff. I like that. Enjoyed that. Bit crushed ending. You're on mute, by the way. Um, Unmute. So I think that mostly was working in terms of the mix and the arrangement and everything. It was kind of kept my attention pretty much all the way through. I have some notes,
Mhm.
but they're not like there's like ideas that I think would improve it, but I think the bones of it is good. The like main kind of idea of it. So the first thing, and I think probably the most important thing of all, is that the main bass sound in the track is it's like a sine wave that's too high pitched.
Mhm.
That kind of it's not bassy enough. Do you know what I mean? Do you know which sound I mean? Like that one. Boo 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 boo. That sound is. It sounds like it's a very pure sine wave, not many harmonics. Can you Do you know what generated it? Is it operator or
It's I think there's a couple of synths. So I use Reason. One of the main synths, or there are multiple voices that fill out the synth part, and this is like the Soviet synth from the 80s, the Polyvox.
it,
Maybe you've heard about it.
the actual like a hardware synth?
Not there,
No,
just a digital version of
an
it.
emulation. Right.
Yeah. But I don't remember. Maybe the Sabi one, maybe also like uh, some. It's just too long ago.
So is it two voices like an octave apart or something like that? Maybe.
Maybe it's
Yeah.
like the multiple voices, the multiple instruments are stacked. So I just don't remember how. In this particular moment that you just played, it's also filtered, if I remember correctly. So there's like a filter on top, and
Yeah.
then it kind of filters in.
The I think like I think why it doesn't sound bassy is the where the notes are, the actual pitch of the
Hmm.
note. It's like in a slightly too high a range.
Hmm.
If just moved down, you would get it to more of a bassy region. Like what I find it with bass is like there's just a very narrow region where it sounds really, really good. Have you ever heard of like the frequency F0 or
But
F?
how many hertz is that one?
Yeah, good question. I can find that out. Yeah, okay, it must be F1 actually, which is like 42 or 43 hertz.
Hmm.
So F0 is like 21.8 hertz. That sounds too low to me. That's like at the very bottom range of human hearing. But F is like what Ben Pest actually told me that F is like many sound systems are just tuned to where that sounds really good as a really,
Hmm.
really low note, which is kind of good to know because you don't have to like just always use that one, but it's just kind of good to have a pitch in mind that's a really good, really low note that you can kind of work around.
Yeah.
So F1, you know, 40 hertz or 80, 160, the upper harmonics are like around those frequencies. So other notes like say C can be too low to get the really, really, really lows. And so they just kind of are a bit in between, not as good as F.
Okay.
It
Yeah.
sounds so kind of silly
Anecdotal.
almost, but
Yeah.
yeah, but it does work if you try to get like a really nice F low, or just around there, F sharp G, those kind of notes. So that would be really helpful for a track like this, I think, especially because the kick drum doesn't have many bass frequencies in it, so the kick drum is kind of perfect for having a lot of low bass in the track.
Mm.
So that's the first note, and then the second is the snare sound. Just one more thing about the bass sound is that perhaps if there's higher octave, which is kind of maybe there's like nice subbeat notes in there, but they're the higher octaves more prominent. So I'm hearing more of the higher sine waves. So you said there's a filter, but it's not filtering them out completely. So it's still sounds like a higher note than a lower
Hmm.
note. But so maybe it's too pure of a sine wave. And when you make the wave a little bit more, like when the second and third harmonic is added. Have you watched the session How to Make a Fat Sub Bass in the course?
Not yet.
No, that
No.
one, that session's all about this. So if you add in a little bit of third and fourth harmonic, or second and third with a
Mhm.
sine wave, then it starts looking instead of a sine wave, it kind of looks more like it flattens out a bit the
Yeah.
top and bottom of the sine wave. So it starts sounding a lot deeper and fatter.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's also an option that you could do. Is like leave the notes the same, but change the shape of the sine wave so it's not so pure.
Yes, I have also making notes
Yeah,
besides.
that's a really like that's probably if I had to pick one thing that's like the best thing I've learned since I came to Bristol would
Hmm.
be that would be how bass works. It's because it was always driving me crazy. It was like if you have a subby bass sound, it's a sine wave, it just gets lost in the
Hmm.
mix. But if you add like octaves only, it sounds like it like in your track. It sounds like there's bass there, but it's more high pitched.
Hmm.
And then the answer is making the sine wave itself um, less of a sine wave and more flattened out.
Can this also be achieved not just in the, let's say, in the synth instrument, but also through effects like post-processing,
Yeah, good question. Like,
like maybe light distortion or whatever, foldback distortion?
yeah, maybe. I think it would probably add many more upper harmonics when you add distortion or saturation. So it's similar, but it's hard to control. So
Hmm.
at the synth level, the synths that can do it are Vital can do it easily, the free synth Vital, or Operator and Ableton is really good. You can really specify exactly harmonics. Quite a lot of those kind of synths are quite easy to manipulate the how many harmonics you're hearing. So it's quite specific. What you want is a fundamental frequency with only two upper harmonics. So it's not too many. If you have
Hmm.
too many, it sounds very bright. But if you only have two upper harmonics, second and third, or third and fourth, just with just the right ratios, you can tune it by ear, just the right amount, so that it starts sounding. You'll hear it straight away. It'll be like, oh, that is a sub that is deep and yet still pokes through in the mix. And
Yeah.
I think that's also the reason why some bass can sound really good, even if your speakers are small, like on a phone or on a laptop, is because it's got just enough harmonics to create the missing fundamental that's like a kind of um, phenomenon, I suppose, that like where your ear just hears low notes even if they're not there. Have you heard of that one? The missing fundamental.
I think I've heard about this principle
Yeah,
and also in other like scenarios, not just the bass,
yeah,
like yeah, all this future-based stuff when they were like detuned maybe. It's not quite the same, but it's like playing around with these multi-harmonic levels.
yeah. It's very interesting. It's very um, useful if you can use it. It's like how come some tracks sound like bassy and really good even on a phone, which the speakers don't have low frequencies. They can't reproduce low frequencies. So how
Yeah.
come it sounds like there's bass there? It's like it's a kind of phenomenon that your ear is just filling in the lower notes, even though they're not there,
Hmm.
because of the ratios of harmonics. When you add harmonics, your ear just kind of goes, well, that must be this note, and
Hmm.
gives you the low note. But if you have too many upper harmonics, that it just sounds like really bright and kind of not good. So it's a balancing act, but definitely a good one to play around with.
Will do.
Yeah. Okay. So snare sound. Yeah, the snare sounds good. I like it. I think it could benefit from having slightly changed, um, like sustain time.
Hmm.
It's quite long, and it's quite the same every time as well. So when you hear it the same every time, it could be a bit not as interesting as if it could be short, like much shorter, like half or a quarter of the size, and then sometimes it could be longer. I generally that's what I try and do with a snare sound. It's like change the length of it.
Hmm.
Um, just keeps it a bit more alive. Then the higher sounds, yeah, the higher sounds are kind of cool. They're kind of quirky and funny. I like that squidgy bass sound. That's great. It's not really bass, but it's squidgy, whatever it is. That little break that happens there, I just feel the rhythm there is just slightly tiny bit.
No, it's wrong. I
It's wrong,
also
right?
already redid it and it sounds much better. It's like
Okay,
it's
yeah,
actually sounds like an actual drama. It's still
okay,
a drum machine, but yeah,
yeah,
it was a sketch.
cool, cool. I like the hi hat sound. The hi hats are quite like a real drummer hi hat. They're cool. And then, so we could do that, do that. Yeah, and then yeah, that's pretty much all the notes. I think the arrangement. Yeah, I think like things are moving very quickly,
Hmm.
changing all the time. I love that sound that comes in. Hard panned kind of stereo sound. Yeah, so 25 seconds, the first 25 seconds, I feel like you could make more use of the material that's in there. The first
Hmm.
25 seconds, a lot of stuff happens, and then it's gone for the whole rest of the track. And it's like,
Hmm.
okay, now we're into the track. But
Hmm.
in that intro, there's stuff that sounds good that you could definitely repeat more. You could almost make that intro like a minute long. So it's not an
Hmm.
intro, it's like this first start of the track, and then you gradually start introducing the bits of the rest of the track.
Hmm.
Because like the bits sound really good, but when you just hear them one time, it's not even enough to register them. They just come and
Yeah.
go immediately. So remember the rule of three is like you hear something, and then the next time you hear it, it's familiar, so you like it. You're like, yeah, if it's good, you like it the second time, and then the third time, if it's exactly the same, it starts getting boring. It's like, oh, I've heard it 3 times now. I know what to expect. If it's like exact carbon copy, it's too much times to hear it. So if something's good, you should hear it again a second time. But then the third time, something should be different. Like another element can come in, or an element can drop out, or an element can change. So that's a good rule to apply in arrangements. But after 25 seconds, the rest of the track, I think, has a good good rate of change of elements.
Okay. Yeah, this I'm not sure if you're familiar with Slav or Russian hard bass, the genre. It uses a lot of this donk bass.
Oh yeah, donk.
Yeah, and I think in this version you can't quite hear it, but it was like if you just Google it, it sounds very like it sounds. I think the source sound for that is like Scottish hard house or whatever from the 90s.
Right.
And the Russians copied it, or just the whole Eastern Europe. And I've wanted to make a track in this style, but then it also turned into this like 80s Blue Monday kind of
Yeah.
feeling. At least I think so. So I was trying to balance like the fun synthwave stuff with the like hard bass sound.
Sounds like you did that. It's got a funny, quirky vibe.
That's
So
great.
yeah, good work. Good work.
Thank you. I
Finish
have,
that one off.
yeah.
What do you reckon, Colin? Anything? Any comments about that track? Or?
Um, Yikes. Yeah, it's unique to my ears. I did
Yeah.
enjoy it. And I think there's so many ideas packed into it. It was a little bit overwhelming for me. Loads of really cool sounds, loads of deadly acidity synth sounds that I really enjoyed.
Mhm.
Um, I did pick up on the bass, and I actually wrote that down just for my own sake. Could I pick out something that I think didn't maybe belong there in the palette of sounds that were there? That it could be a bigger sound in the bass. It kind of felt a bit lightweight and reverby was the word I had in my head. I don't know if that's right. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. But like frantic, and I was like, "What is this sound?" Like, like you kind of described it there. It's a lot of different crossovers of genres, but really interesting. So yeah, I enjoyed it, and I mean, somewhat glad that I picked out something that you picked out as well. So I was like, okay, yeah, maybe I am, because I'm still learning, like, about
Yeah.
sound designing, and to have a constructive listening ear to these things, so I can kind of pick up on them. So yeah,
Yeah.
they were the main things.
That's good. That's good. That's like yeah. I think if the bass end was like lower and kind of you know just thumping low, just really nicely anchoring it down, then the whole vibe would change of the track. It could be like
Yeah,
just feel really a lot better. But yeah, it's interesting. In the last track feedback of Orest, I was saying as well that you have a lot of ideas, which is something I have too. Is like throwing a lot of ideas in, and
mm.
it's funny when you have that approach. Like to us, it can seem like there's not even enough ideas. You just want
Yeah.
more and more ideas. You
This
just
one's actually one of the simpler ones, I would
yeah.
say.
I was gonna say it's a
I would
lot
say there's
less.
5 songs in that there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly.
You should have heard the other one.
That was
But yeah, because
it's like breakcore.
this one is more focused. Actually, it is. But when you're like me and Orest and you have tons of ideas, yeah, we do
Yeah,
have to work on like paring it down and making it really focused. And it can work to have a lot of ideas in a track, but you have to present them in a way that makes a lot of sense. Like I like Bogdan
yeah,
Raczynski.
the
He's somebody who
cohesion
does that.
to some degree.
Tons of
Yeah.
ideas, but they just make sense.
Mhm.
Have you listened to him, any of his albums? Bogdan?
Can you say the name again?
I've heard
Bogdan what?
tracks.
Bogdan Raczynski, Reflex guy.
I have never heard of this name actually.
Oh, right. It's the Bogdan Raczynski. Oh, I don't know how to spell it. I used to know. Rat, rat, rat,
I have found it, yes. There's
something like that. Oh, that's wrong. Polish name. But yeah, he's absolutely one of the best. I think he's really really good. His recent stuff's way more weird, but his earlier three albums, his first album, Boku Mawakaran, classic. Second album, Thinking, or Samurai Masterpiece, classic. Third album, Thinking of You, classic.
a
Yeah,
lot
he's
of
got four classic albums.
So the first four, yes, I
Yeah,
should listen to. Okay.
yeah, absolutely. Okay, Colin, where's your track on? Is it on a stream or file?
No, it's nowhere. It's on Ableton.
Oh, right. So
Am I going to be able to share it?
yes, you can share. Let me stop sharing. So you have to
Okay.
share,
Share
but
screen and
share sound as well. You have to share
share
sound.
sound. Okay. Share sound. So hopefully this works. You can see that, right? Yeah.
And just on the settings, audio output should be Zoom.
Ah, great. With a view.
Output. Oh,
We didn't get this right the last time. Let me just see if it plays now, right? Do you hear that?
Yeah.
we're hearing it through the mic, I think, but it's good enough, probably.
Yeah, because it was the sound design part that I wanted to. Because there's not much to it. Like, there's only really 8 bars. There's a couple of ideas kicking around. Let me see if I can.
I think,
Um,
yeah, if I remember from last
we did
time,
get it working last time.
I think we listened through the mic, I think, in the end.
I thought we got it working, but okay.
But just
Okay.
see, check for a Zoom audio device once. Edit settings,
Where do we have that?
and then in audio device.
In
What have
Zoom
you got?
settings.
What have you got in audio device?
Are you talking about Zoom settings here? But are you talking about Zoom?
No, Ableton settings. And you've got no in the settings there. Yeah, you got audio device there. See, what do you got in the?
Oh yeah, this is where we didn't get anywhere. Maybe it was no. I w- I don't think that's gonna
Okay, they're all just
do it.
like your.
No, that didn't work the last time. It's just no. It was this the only one that output sound.
It should be ASIO for all. Put it on. We are hearing that. Are we hearing that through? It's kind of hard to tell. Yeah, sure, we can hear it now. So
Well, actually, you know what I can do? I can if I turn it down there.
we're hearing it now pretty quietly.
Are you hearing that clearly?
Quietly. Can you turn it up? It's gone. It's gone away.
I don't think it's working, lads.
Yeah, well, the best thing to do would be to bounce it out and we can play the file. But it's not in an arrangement, that's why it's hard to bounce it out.
Yeah.
So play it as, and we'll listen to it through the mic.
Okay. Okay. Well, I can give you the idea. So it's that, and then at some point bring in this is kind of the other. I don't know. Did that sound anything like? You
It's
can hear the ideas at least, I suppose.
yes, I can hear like the CPU was going crazy up beyond 100. So sometimes it would like slow down and it would like distort a
Yeah,
bit.
yeah. I was hearing that. I wonder is that because I'm sharing as well? It was just
Yeah, it's
that
there's less
generally
CPU
happened.
because you're sharing as well. But the I saw a video recently. Is like some people are doing this thing where they put on loads of plugins to force the CPU to go into like hundreds of percent to make the distortion happen and record. Have you seen that one?
No, I
They
haven't heard of that.
they record the distortion of the thing crashing and crunching, and they use that in their track.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is funny, weird thing to do. But anyway, the beats sound cool. From what I can hear, I like the beats. The bass may have also had a similar thing to Orest where it was like some notes were slightly too high. It's quite hard to tell, but
It even sounded similar, no? I mean, like from a sound design point of view.
the bass sound,
Yeah, it's like a siney, like 808 kind of.
that kind of,
Yeah, like someone humming in a really deep manner.
yeah. I wonder if
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
I wonder if it sounded like that, or was it like we may not have been hearing an accurate
Yeah.
sound because it's coming through the mic. Maybe we're hearing some kind of feedback, or I don't know. So if it is like that, then yeah, it could be that the bass part is too sine wavy and too high pitched as well. Could benefit from that same. What is making the bass sound in that?
I'm doing it in Vital, so I have
Okay,
two oscillators, the
yeah.
kind of basic sine wave, and then like the straight line one, and then I have it pitched down. Um, I have it pitched down to -12. What else have I got going
You
on?
can share
Actually,
your screen
playing
again.
around.
Share your screen again and
Oh
show the
yeah,
vital.
yeah, yeah.
You don't have to play it, but it'll be good to just see in vital.
Awesome.
RACZ. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, cool. Yes. So click on the pencil icon of the basic shape, the top one. Yeah. Okay. So on this screen,
Mm.
you can see um, there's there's a sine wave, which is the wave, and then
Yeah.
underneath that there's one single purple line on the left hand side. See that one single purple line, that one, and
Yeah.
then underneath on the bottom there's loads of purple lines all across. So
Yeah.
there the where there's one single purple line, it's just showing what harmonics are there. So if you want to introduce the third and fourth harmonic, you can just go to the right of where that single line is and just
Hmm.
create another one there. Yeah, there. And just put another,
That's the
click
third
it
one.
in. That's the third one. Yeah, you can make it a bit more. Yeah, and then
So what?
try and get it to less than
And then the
that.
fifth.
And then the fourth, not the fifth. Third and fourth. Yeah. Okay, so let's have less of the third, less, and then less of the fourth as well. That's looking good now on the right hand side. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's gonna be a better. Yeah, I'd say that sound there. That would be better. And you can actually yeah close that and or don't close yeah close it on the X. Just hit the X at the top right. And don't
Oh
just
yeah, yeah.
come out of the editor. Yeah, there. So you can actually the initial
See it
wave.
now, yeah.
The initial wave is like a kind of very sharp edged one. I would like even turn that off. That's going to be when you have very sharp edges like that's going to be like really really grating. So yeah, turn that one off. Yeah, so now hit play. See what it sounds like.
Oh, what's going on here? Oh yeah.
Okay, we can't really hear that well, but
CPU is out on it.
yeah. So after you stop sharing it, you can. I think it sounded better already, but I would recommend just using that one oscillator and just playing with the shape of the wave
Okay.
until it sounds really fat and poking through. You'll get it.
Okay. And and doing that with the well, you achieve that. Just play around with them. Is that kind
Yeah,
of a key thing?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. If you get it sounding really good, the way like the wave shape itself, if it's not a perfect sine,
Mm.
it's just kind of flattened out a bit. It's like all you have to do. It's most of the work to get a great bass sound. Then you can put a bit of saturation on it. After that, you probably have other things in the chain there already, do you?
Yeah. Hmm.
So you can do other stuff to it, and it will help it as well. But like the main thing is a good
Okay.
source sound, a good wave. It's like the waveform is showing you what the speakers are doing, right? So if the speaker moves in and out in a perfect sine wave,
Yeah.
actually moves like just uniformly in and out. That's what a sine wave is. It just the speaker's just going out, in, just you know, perfectly uniformly, and it will just go boo or whatever it is. So
Yeah.
when it's out more than in, that's how
Hmm.
someone described how when it's flattened out, the speaker spends more time at the extremes and less time in the middle. It actually generates
Okay.
more of a sound. I don't know how much that made more sense in my head, but it's like if you do it too much and if it goes, oh, I think
Yeah.
I'm putting my hand up. If you do it too much and it's like a square wave, then the speed that it's going out and in, the speed of the speaker when it's going like, it's like it creates those many upper harmonics where it's just like very bright sound. It's
Mhm.
just quite interesting to like um, to learn how the actuality of the shape of the wave is making the speaker move, which is making the sound that you hear. So basically, to simplify it all, it's just if you just get the sine wave just with the right amount of not sharp edges, but flattened out, it sounds. You'll hear it straight away. You'll be like, oh, that sounds way fatter. It's way
Okay.
fatter. I had to come and live in
There's
Bristol to
oh,
learn that.
I actually have my synth also open now, but
Yeah,
I'm not sure how I can program these upper harmonics into it because it has a quirky interface, I'd say.
it's not possible on all synths. I mean,
Yeah.
unless it gives you a way to add them, it could be just like a lot of hardware synths you couldn't do it. So if it's an
Yeah.
emulation of a hardware synth, then they probably didn't add that feature in. But yeah,
There may be some possibilities, but I'm not sure yet. I'll have to look into it.
yeah, investigate it. It'd be interesting.
But I mean, one way or workaround could be that I just take like 3 copies of the same synth, maybe, and do program the oscillators.
You can actually do it that way. You can if you have a sine wave at say 40 hertz,
Mhm.
then you know what the third and the fourth harmonic will be. The third one will be 120 hertz, and the fourth one will wait 90 hertz and no 120 hertz and 160 hertz will be the third and the fourth. So you could actually just have the three waves like simultaneous. That is a funny workaround. I would say like phasing issues might be there because the waves have to start exactly at the same time in order to get the right wave shape. Well, you can do it by ear. You don't have to. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be super technical. But if it's changing, if the phase changes, then the sound will change. So on the when you're doing it on Vital, it's kind of allowing you to do it in a way where it's going to be the same phase every time.
Mhm.
And you can adjust the phase as well. I think is the way to do that. But ideally, you want it to kind of start at the start of the wave going up, not to have it like in a weird kind of phase. Anyway, that's a good, really good lesson. This stuff is like, it's really important stuff to get that bass sounding right, proper bass. I mean, if you have good beats and a proper bass sound, just put a, it's much easier, I think, to get a pad sound or a lead sound or other sounds are much easier, but the bass sound takes more work, I think, to get a really good one.
Yeah.
So cool, good stuff. All right, we'll press stop on the record.